This is Laura Elfstrand of Little Elf Family Services. I am excited to be back for day 3 of the Facebook Live 21-day challenge through liveyourmessage.com. And today I'm going to be talking about calm and chaos. And so why is calm and chaos so important, and why is it that families struggle so much with chaos? Dr. John Gottman at the Gottman Institute talks about his study where he found that 2/3 of the couples he studied experienced a significant increase in conflict and hostility when their baby was born. We know that babies have little tummies and that parents can struggle when we don't get enough sleep, and that babies naturally are going to wake us up to eat at the beginning, and it takes time to learn to sleep. And many times another potential problem can be that a woman, or the one who is pregnant, has a baby inside of her and can psychologically become a parent faster than the one who is not pregnant. And this can cause some additional challenges in the relationship as they're figuring out this new dynamic of shifting from me to we. So there's where I come in. I help families to reduce chaos and to manage conflict so that the whole family can thrive. And I do that in a variety of ways. I teach Happiest Baby on the Block for baby calming. I teach infant massage classes that help babies to calm. It helps with physical development, and it's a great way to reconnect with your baby at the end of a work day if you are a working parent. Dan Siegel talks about the idea of the way that our brains work with an illustration with your hand. So we have our foam stress ball brain, and our hand, if our hand represents our brain, our wrist represents the brainstem which we use for breathing and heart rate. And if we put our thumb here in the middle, that represents our emotions and the part of our brain that regulates our emotions, our limbic system. And our fingers here on the top represent the cortex, which is the part of our brain that we use to solve problems. So generally speaking, our brains go from simple to complex. And when we feel attacked, our brains don't know the difference between whether a car almost hit us or a bear is coming after us, or our partner or our child said or did something that felt attacking to us. And so when that happens, we flip our lid and the signals can't connect to the top of the brain that we need to be able to solve problems, because our brain says, danger, must react quickly. And so it's hard in those moments to be intentional. If it's our partner or our child who did something that sent us into that fight or flight mode, our brain says, react, be fast. And it doesn't give time for the signals to get up to the top of the brain. And so if we're going to solve problems well together as a family, we need to think about having rituals and routines that help us to calm ourselves down and clear the stress signals out of our brains so that we can then come back to the problem when we're calm and think more clearly about it and then we can solve problems, we can be more respectful. But the danger comes in, our brains are made this way to protect us when there is an immediate danger. But what can happen is that we react because our cortex is not online at that moment, and we're likely to say things and do things that we regret later. So I actually made a bracelet for myself. I didn't bring it today, but I have a bracelet for myself saying, this is no longer productive, I need to reschedule. And I think it's in small print so that no one can see it except that that's what it says, except for me. But it reminds me that those are words. If I'm in that moment, I'm not going to have words. And so one of the things that I do in my work is that I help families to build in those rituals and to have strategies for how to calm down first, so that then they can deal with their screaming toddler, they can deal with their partner that said something hurtful, you can deal with the problem if we have routines that and a family culture that says that it's okay to take a break, to calm down, and then discuss the problem later when we're calm. One way that I like to think about being calm is the initials KALM. Known, we want each person in the family to be known, appreciated, and loved, and then they can be motivated to learn new things. That's when our kids really thrive. And so there's some different ways and strategies that I use to do that. With older kids and with our partners, we can use verbal strategies to get to know them over time. For example, we all change over time, and it's easy to think that I already know my partner because I asked them a lot of get to know you questions when we were first dating, and it doesn't take into account the fact that we've changed over the past 20 years of being married. So it's helpful to have rituals where we can update our knowledge of the other person. One way we can do that is this is backwards on the screen, sorry, but this is the family version of the Ungame, and I couldn't find the actual cards today. But there's cards in here that have questions on them that you can use to just ask each other questions about how things are going on. Another way I do that, and sorry, these are all going to be backwards, I apologize, but my husband and I use a 2-person journal. This one is called One Question a Day for You and Me, a 3-year journal. This is the one we're going to start, but we have another one. This is the one we are in the process of finishing. We're in the last few questions of the final year. And so it's kind of fun because then we can look back and see how we answered the question. Each question has 3 years, and each person can give 3 different answers to each question, and so we can see if our answers to the questions have changed or if they've stayed the same over the past 3 years. So this one I found on Amazon, and it's our Q&A a day. And we also use a book called Our Bucket List Adventures. We're just starting this one, and it's Our Bucket List Adventures, a journal for couples. And so that's one way that we can continue to get to know our partners over time. And with babies, of course, and little children, it's a process of just getting to know what do they like, what do they not like, and doing as much as we can of the things that they like and using the things that they like to motivate them to learn. I know some kids who really liked Elmo in my classes, and so we took the Elmo doll and we put it in places so that she would have to get to Elmo and do things that were a little bit hard to have some of that productive struggle that we talked about in our last Facebook Live. Another example would be thinking about food and eating preferences, and I like to think of that as remembering that each person needs to try any given food, they say at least 10 to 15 times before deciding if we really like that food or not. So we're building our understanding of the other person, or we're building our understanding of the child by getting to know the things that they like and don't like, and yet we continue to offer things that maybe they don't like yet, but we model that vegetables are actually good, and there are ways to cook them that are better than others, But people like them and eat them. And we don't have to just eat chips and ice cream and macaroni and cheese and pizza. But we can at least, without being overly pushy, we can continue to model that healthy choices are not just healthy, but they can taste good too. So that's about knowing. So my acronym is, each person in the family should be KALM: known, appreciated, loved, and motivated. And one of the things that I do in my work is to help families build in rituals of appreciation for one another. One of the ways we can do that is this journal is called the 2-Minute Mornings Journal. And for each day, it just has something to let go of, a list of things that we're grateful for, and 3 things to focus on for that day. And that can be done individually, or it can be done together as a family. What do we want to focus on together as a family? We want to be known, we want to be appreciated and loved and motivated, and that will help us to be in a space where we can be motivated to learn and reduce chaos. I appreciate you too, Lori. Thank you all for watching. To get started on your journey, if you or someone you know is interested in coaching to reduce chaos and to have rituals and to be more familiar with the resources in your community, and to build rituals of connection with your family, and rituals to know what are some developmentally appropriate ways to help my kids to be more independent in the daily routines, and to work together as a team to get the household chores done. Text appointment to 555-888, and that will send you a link to my calendar for a free 30-minute family breakthrough session. And during that session, we will talk about what are your challenges as a family, what are the things that are holding you back, and what are your next steps. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be at 9:30 in the morning Pacific. I'm heading off to a conference for the rest of the week, so it'll be a little bit here and there, but I look forward to touching base with everyone, and I will see you tomorrow at 9:30, and we'll be talking some more about calm and chaos. Thank you, everybody. Bye.